Okay, I know that this video is probably going to sound like I am just talking trash or whatever. So just to give you a heads up, this is very easily going to turn into a rant. So anyways, hear me out. So during the weekend for Christmas, of course, we had someone at our house. Of course, people who do not live in your house who sleep over at your home or just visit in general are called guests. Well, when you combine the presence of a guest with you naturally being someone relatively antisocial and also not having a lot of, say, free time sometimes on the days leading up to a holiday, and then all you're asking for is space so that you can rest and you just have plans to stay at home and chill because you have worked hard and you deserve the rest, etc. And then you come home to learn that, of course, someone has invited a guest. So I don't have anything against the guest that we had over the weekend. Like, I think he's all right. It's Let's just call him my mom's boyfriend because I'm sure that we can officially say that they're dating. So it was him, and honestly, of all the guys my mom has been with, um, I want to say this is the second guy that I just really did not get to know much because I mean, when I was younger, it used to be that I would have to hang out with my mom everywhere she went to, which means that she would tag us along for her dates from time to time. And then eventually my brother just left and I was just by myself. So my mom, usually she would ask me if I wanted to go somewhere, but sometimes I didn't have a choice because she may be going far and I was, a minor. So she wasn't going to leave me at home. So, anyways, I get that. But now that I'm older, it's like I'm over that stage of having to get to know someone. All I care about is having a name, possibly a last name, and I don't even know this dude's last name, but anyway. And maybe a phone number just in case something happens. I know who stayed at my house, and have something to forward. But anyways, it's not that the presence of a guest bothers me, it's the feeling that I just naturally have of being sort of invaded because suddenly my mom, for example, she starts acting a little weird. Like, she, of course, when you have a guest over, you want to accommodate them so that they feel welcome and invited, but do not be all over my butt about simple, insignificant things. Like, she was freaking out over a little red box that I put in the living room, and she was immediately like, Sam, why is this red box here? Are those books? And I said, yes. And then she's like, oh, why is it here? I'm trying to clear up the living room. And I'm like, they're there because I'm trying to clear up some of my room. And she's like, ugh. And I'm like, ugh, that is like the first item of mine that belongs to me that I put somewhere outside of my room in the house that I also live in and also pay for. So if you have a problem with that box, then let me tell you that I have a problem with the way you have set up the house because I have not had a say on anything. I haven't had a say on how it looks, how it's organized. You did that all by yourself, and I have not interjected in any way. So now that I want to do something different, why do you have a problem? You don't entirely own this. So, anyways, just to give you an idea, so she brought that up, and also she's the kind to be behind me and be like, well, make sure that you don't leave anything dirty in the kitchen. And I'm like, I will get to the dishes when I get to it because your time is not my time, and you know that. Because when I go in at 6:30 a.m. and I come home at around 2:30 p.m. and it takes me 2 hours to cook, and then I have to get ready in about an hour and also rest, and then in another half hour, I have to be ready to go to the gym. Realistically, I don't have time to clean up everything. So I'm not a really messy person anyway. Like when I cook, it is rare that something gets out of control or something is incredibly greasy and anything like that. It's just, maybe as I sprinkled some spices, something fell out of the pot and then it's on the stove. And then, of course, whatever dishes I use, which is usually a fork, a plate, the pot's lid, and a cup for my water. So, five little thingies. Usually, while I'm waiting for my ride to go to the gym, I can take care of two to three of those things and then leave the toughest stuff for later. So, when she comes home, which is I'm already at the gym by the time she comes home, she can expect to find something, and I would expect for her to know that I'm not skipping it. It's just I don't have the time. But if immediately when I come back from the gym, it is like 9 o'clock, I have to eat a little snack so that I don't go to bed starving. And then I also have to take a shower so that I can take my tail to bed to sleep, maybe 5 hours, to repeat this cycle. So just don't freak out at the fact that I am not able to have everything spotless the way that you can, because I'm sorry, I refuse to sacrifice sleep hours for just doing something as lousy as cleaning something. Like the house will not rot and fall to the ground if I skip it for maybe another couple of hours. I'll get to it. So, anyways, and then I just hate the change in attitude. It's like just because we have someone over doesn't mean that you have to be extra showy. Just be natural, be yourself. You don't have to treat me different either. Like, those are the inconsistencies that I hate. So it's not even the guest's fault. It's just the way that the atmosphere changes as a result of a guest being over. So, but when it comes to the guest himself, it's kind of weird for me because I'm just not used to having someone in the house. And usually, when my boyfriend is over, it's like he has his, what can I call this? It's like a designated area. He usually, when he's over, we're hanging out pretty much by my front door because it's usually time for us to go. Like he's dropping me off from the gym, we hang out for a little bit, and then he's gone. On the weekends, that's the only time he steps in further than the front door, and we go to the living room to just chill over there, lay down, sit down, or do something, watch something, and that's about it. So she cannot say that I have someone over all the time because that would not be true. So, but you see, when I have someone over, no one is stressing out. Like, I don't have to tell her, please do not be invading this area, like the living room, because my boyfriend and I are going to be there. So, I just hate how all of a sudden I, who live here and pay for this too, I have to go out of my way to accommodate someone. Like, no, no. Last time I checked, I also make the rules around here. So I don't understand why I have to accommodate someone. Like I said, I just refuse. Because especially when you don't tell me in advance that this person is coming over, like, how can I possibly begin to account for that? So the only thing she's been telling me a little ahead of time is that she has plans for her birthday, but for her birthday, it's irrelevant for her to tell me because she's going to go out of town anyway. So, it's not something that affects the home life, but it's just really irritating because just if you are a guest, you know, you cannot expect for me to feel all warm about you because I don't know you. You might say, well, that's the best time to get to know someone. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't do that because I already have my time committed. Like I have a routine that I will follow with or without holidays. So if you tell me ahead of time, I would love it if you would spend some time with me because this person means something to me and it would mean a lot for me to get for you to know him as well, then all right, I'll do something. But it's just, I feel like this guy, it wouldn't surprise me if this guy tells my mom that he thinks I hate him because of all this time that I've met him, I probably had just one time that we sort of had a conversation, and that was the very first time I ever saw him. They visited me at my job, and then it was close to me leaving, so we pretty much just had time together, lunch together, sorry. And then the other time is he's been over at my house, but because I'm a person whose time is already like compromised, it's like, hello, how you doing? Good. I'm already going upstairs because I have a life to live and continue with the plans that I had pre-established, you know? So I guess my rant and my rambling is just how people just change when someone else is around. Like, especially, I don't know if you guys have gone through this, but say that you're out shopping with your mom or your dad or something, and they see someone who they know, and suddenly something that should have taken just 10 minutes to fulfill, which is go to the grocery store and pick up dinner, it turns out into an hour and a half of you just wandering around pretending to look at product that you don't care about because of course you're with your parents, you rely on them for your transportation because you're a child and you cannot take yourself home, and let alone you cannot stay by yourself at home. You know what I'm saying? So because I went through that so much during my childhood, now that I am older and I have the power to be out and about and not be stuck somewhere, I use that power. I exploit it because a lot of my time has been wasted because I was dragged along by someone else, you know? So now I am creating my time. I have my social activities and I also just have my stuff to do during that time. So, you know, fortunately, my mom has not given any indications that she expects from me to get to know this guy, but I feel deep down inside somewhere that she is wishing that I was getting out of my way to when they're here, like when he's here, for me to just maybe eat lunch with them or just converse with them. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm just not interested. Maybe I sound like stuck up or something, but I'm just not social like that. This is your man. What do I have to get to know about him? You know? So if there's something that you want me to know, you will tell me. So, you know, it's it feels like an invasion. I love my space so much, and then to have a third person just come here is kind of weird for me. So so I don't know. And then it's weird because stuff that usually doesn't happen in the house starts happening. Like, for instance, not that this is a big deal for me, but I walked into the bathroom and the freaking lid was up. Like, I'm like, ugh, just, you know, it's something temporary. He was only here for 2 nights and 3 days. Well, cumulatively 2 days because he came like at the end of one day and then he left early on the what would have been the third day. So, you know, they are gone as quickly as they come, but at the same time, it's like because it happens during a time that I was looking forward to be off, I guess that's what makes me feel uncomfortable and like I'm being invaded. You know, so anyways, let me see what you're saying cuz I'm just yeah. Hello there. It sounds like you might need your own space. I mean, I know that I do, but at the same time, if I were to get my own space, I know that it's like my mom is going to need me for stuff. So if I can go ahead and be here to address it, then that's good. Because even when I'm out alone sometimes or I'm out with my boyfriend, she's texting me or calling me telling me that she needs something. It's not that she's invasive, um, like in a persistent way. But there have been times when I have had to like cancel in the middle of something because she had a situation. Like one time it was a cold night and she accidentally locked her keys in her car, and we were at the fair, so we had to pretty much leave early because of that. I've done that before. I have locked my keys, by accident, so it doesn't really bother me. But just to give you an idea of the things that happen that, you know, change my plans. And also, I hate it when she asks me, "Are you off today?" or "Are you off tomorrow?" Because she is going to automatically endorse something for me to do. So, I mean, I don't mind helping, but the problem is that it's like I have this commitment to that. I'm like, lady, as far as I know, you are an adult too. Just take care of it. Like, make your calls. Go to the offices that you need to. If you need to take a day off, then do it. Because hell, I do it sometimes. So, I like to see that you're trying to address it, but then you resort to me when something is just way out of control. You know what I mean? So, like I said, it's like I don't want to make her sound like she's terrible, but we need a better structure. I feel like we need a plan, or at least on her part. I just wish that she had that. Because I feel like she has gotten too comfortable over the fact that I can take care of everything, but now I'm getting to the point where it's like, hey, I have my affairs too to address. So, you know, and at the same time, we pretty much only have each other. Outside of her, I would have my boyfriend. So, but at the same time, it's best if the two of us just stick together. There are more benefits to us two living together. And don't even get me started on the finances, because it really helps a lot that we're living together, because I can help her with stuff in the same manner that she can help me with stuff. And I definitely do not feel like I have to stress myself out over some things. Like, I could do it. I know that I can do it, but I like to be able to have this time that I have to work on my grind and to also, film and do stuff. So I just don't want to have to worry about her stuff, even though I shouldn't, because I know that she can take care of it. But like I said, if I can make myself accessible, I will do it. And it's also nice to just have each other, because sometimes I get sick randomly and she's there to help me. And vice versa. The times that she has gotten sick, I have been here, so I was able to help her out. So, like I said, it's more beneficial to be with her. And usually, when we have an issue, all we gotta do is talk about it. If I felt like I couldn't do that, then I would definitely be out of here. But if she pushes my buttons enough, I guarantee you that I would be out of here, because I'm just not about tolerating, bad stuff. Anyways, everything is a give or take, but some people are like that for no reason. I know this is random, but you should also put your videos on. I don't know what that is. And they pay you in Bitcoin. I mean, honestly, I know that I could be making money off my videos, but if YouTube does something, like if I get a little bit of revenue from this, then I'm fine. But I'm not really trying to become YouTube famous. If it happens, great, it happens. But honestly, I don't really film for money, because if I'm looking for extra money, I already have a grind that I do. Honestly, this is just for entertainment, be comfortable just speaking, and to also just have a record of me in my 20s, because I feel like I did not take as many pictures of myself when I was a child and an adolescent and everything. And I'm just wishing that I could have access to like security videos from the supermarkets that I would go to when I was a kid, and be like, I need the tape from like 2003 just to see myself as a child walking and moving, because I don't know what that's like. I know myself in my 20s because I have these videos, but I cannot go back to like my teenage years and be like, oh yeah, that's how I acted, that's how I sounded like, you know. So honestly, look at this as my own personal album that I don't mind having public because I don't have anything to hide. So anyways, but I mean, if it comes down to it, if I consider that I put too much time and effort into videos, then yeah, sure, I would ask for money from them. But you know, look at this. I don't even put effort into the production or the research of anything. So why should I try to make a dollar out of this? You know what I mean? So, but anyways, but thanks for the advice. I mean, if you think that I should take my videos there, then you may see some potential, but I don't know. I don't mind YouTube for now. I understand your pain, and my ex kind of had the same thing. He will be making breakfast in his underwear next, making you eggs and ish. No, nobody, not even my mom, cooks for me anymore because I have this strict and specific diet. And like all of the food that my mom made during this weekend, I rejected because she put pork in it. And I have completely banned that from my diet, and my boyfriend has too. So I just want to respect his discipline. And also, it's a very healthy thing to do. Why would I want to eat something that's not good for me? I eat plenty of trash still. Like today, I had to go on a completely fast food diet because I had to take my car to the shop. I was also getting late from work, getting off late from work, and now I gotta be getting ready to go to the gym. So, realistically, when I have a day when I know that I have the potential of just not having a lot of time for myself, I'm like, just to avoid dishes and just to avoid waiting for my food to be prepared, let me just eat junk, and then on the upcoming days, I'll go back to, you know, eating my salad and eating my salmon, eating my beef, and, you know, go back to being lean and all that. But for now, you know, I have to eat, so I had to opt for things that I normally wouldn't, but I'm alive and functioning, so that's what matters. But anyways, I know that my mom wouldn't let the situation get to that level, like say the guest feeling entitled because um, she's not like that. But I also feel like she knows that I would not approve of that. So, um, like I said, as a guest, I have my behaviors, I have my standards. So I believe that they are great, probably the best that you will see on any guest. So I guess I have high expectations of others because of the way that I am. You know, not to brag, not to say that I am perfect, but I do have my platform to stand on and explain why I say things the way that I say them. And I have evidence to prove it, you know? So, anyways, and also I have my schedule and my habits. So, usually I have my certain times in the day, approximately, where I know that I'll take a shower. The freaking bathroom is occupied. So, you know, that's another plan that I need to make on the side. And sometimes I have my times when I'm on my days off, when I'm ready to eat, ready to cook. So mom was good about letting me know at around what time she was going to start cooking. But sometimes that time interlapped with the time that I have set aside for eating. So I had to get a little creative with how I was going to go about feeding myself. So, you know, little things like that. I have my bedtime, I have my eating time, I have my shower time, and when a guest is over, I run the risk of my time not being available anymore, you know? So at least I constantly tell myself this is not going to be a week, this is not going to be a month, this is not going to be permanent. So it's all right. But when it happens, it tends to happen at an inopportune moment. And that's why I'm sitting here ranting about it. So, anyways, guys, that's pretty much all that I have to say when it comes to guests. I'm not saying that I hate them, but I'm not saying that I like them either because um, if it weren't for the fact that people behave so unnaturally when they're at someone else's home or when they're, say, at your place. If it weren't for that, it would be fine. I feel that about me. I feel like I wouldn't mind it and it would be all right. But because the routine changes and attitudes change, and suddenly there's this little stress of, oh, I have to be not as loud, or I cannot blow my nose loudly, then, it's nothing like having your space, um, and just your routine remaining the same. So when my mom is around, she knows how I am, I know how she is, so we stay out of each other's way. But, you know, when someone else comes, a third party, it's like, I'm sorry, but I cannot give my ways up just because of someone else who just arrived at the picture. So, anyways, all right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in, and I will see you soon. How can I shut you up?